Hello and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 509. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis. Welcome to the blogcast. Should I change the name of this podcast? Because we just won another award with my theater company for The Dragoning, our audio drama. There's a lot of winning. This is the second win. And this was a big one. So, Lord knows the struggle does not stop, even for those who are extremely successful. So I do not think I will change the name of this podcast. But it's nice to have some winning for a change, isn't it? Woo! It was a wild ride. I was there for a little under a week. Had a delightful time in Providence, but I am exhausted. That was a lot of networking. It was a lot, but it's wild to win like an actually prestigious award. Actually, also, woo! I'm still processing. It happened yesterday, so I'm not sure quite how to think about it yet. And believe me, there will be posts and blogs and blogcasts about it. I am sure. They have not yet popped into my brain, but I'm sure they're coming. So, what is the blog today? Well, it is not at all on topic. Sometimes it happens that things just kind of line up, and it has not happened this time. This one is related to a performance that I saw at BAM a few months ago, quite a few months ago, I think now, and also about a class that I taught, many years ago. So the two things kind of come together in this look at I don't know, how we think about anger and who gets to be angry and that kind of thing. So it is called Like a Dog on the Roof. Watching a recent performance made me think a lot about this special ed class I spent some time in years ago. I've been brought in to teach a playwriting residency to the entire 5th grade. They wanted the plays to be about bullying in order to tie in with some school curriculum. I think they didn't really think through what this would mean. I mean, just as a warning to the rest of you, don't bring a playwright in to talk about something if you don't really want to talk about it. Most of the teachers struggled to embrace the plays of the students. They wanted pat, instructive skits. I wanted to hear their actual stories of bullying or being bullied. We had conflicting needs. Even so, in my workshops, we got into what conflicts were and how they were actually resolved. We generated material by making lists of feelings and scenarios and characters. But the students knew their teachers mostly just wanted them to say sorry and get along. So they were somewhat limited in their sharing. In the special ed class, they were especially reticent to share anything. They were trying to get it right when there was no right to get. At some point, I just said, "You guys are special ed. Does anyone ever give you a hard time about that?" And they conceded that they did. We made a list of feelings about those experiences, and one student said, "Sometimes I get so mad I feel like a dog on a roof." I started doing cartwheels in my mind. This is writer's gold. This kid just gave us the most perfect simile. I was ready to help them write a show called Dog on the Roof, and it was going to be genius. But their teacher was displeased. She did not want her students to talk about feeling mad. She didn't want to dwell on their difficulties. She only wanted them to be positive. She was very clear. There would be no Dog on the Roof show. And it wasn't just the special ed teacher who was uncomfortable talking about negative feelings in the classroom. The tendency to suppress and obfuscate difficult feelings emerged in all of the classes, but it was explicit in the special ed class. The kids understood that even though they experienced discrimination and bullying, they were not permitted to discuss it or have feelings about it. Likewise for racism or sexism. This was probably 15 years ago now, but I still think about that dog on the roof and the show those kids would have made if they'd had the permission to feel their feelings and share their experience. I was thinking about this after seeing Teatro La Plaza's Hamlet, which features a cast of actors with Down syndrome and addresses some of the misconceptions around people with Downs. It had some love scenes, some frank discussion of sex, and some fun, boastful rap. There was a hint of anger, but only a hint. The kind that might be mild frustration. No dogs on roofs. They did bits of Hamlet, but skipped all the violence. I imagine there are a lot of good reasons for this. The prejudice that this population has to face is extreme. And despite the fact that the stereotype for Downs is a loving, affectionate one, I imagine that there are those out there who still fear anyone a little different. I can imagine it might be safest not to open up the box that might contain any dogs on roofs. I understand the choice and concede that I know nothing about this particular situation. But skipping the violence in Hamlet and not letting us know how it feels to be a dog on the roof are all a kind of diminishment of humanity. Are we not seeing the violence because the actors can't handle it? Or is it because the audience is too limited in its ability to tolerate violence from them? In either case, there's something interesting and complicated to unpack there. I want to see a show about that. I'm sensitive to not allowing for people to be angry. It's been a long journey to opening myself up to my own anger after decades of niceness, but I feel like my anger makes me a fuller person. I'm more complicated and alive for including my anger in my experience. Who we allow to be angry or violent reveals a lot about who has power. I feel like we're missing a big chunk of the experience of all kinds of people if we don't make space to listen to and witness what makes them mad. I want to hear how and why something could make someone feel like a dog on the roof. I think that's very positive. I hope I get to be a part of a Dog on the Roof show someday. I will say it is very odd to see a production of Hamlet with no violence in it. I mean, I guess I'm also responding to the many productions of Hamlet I've done with young people, even elementary school, and the parts that they like the best are the violence. They're the most fun to do. I'm not saying we should have more violence in society, but violence on stage, I mean, I've talked about this before, but, there's a great value in it, and it's especially delightful to watch young people seize hold of it and, die on stage, having multiple deaths. It is very dramatic and a good time. So I just wonder what was going on with this non-violent production of Hamlet. They just skipped it. It's not that they didn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So what song do I have for you? You will be surprised. There are several songs called Dog on a Roof, Doggy on the Roof, The Dog on the Roof. It's multiple dogs on roofs around. I was genuinely stunned. I thought I'm going to have to branch out, and I just, for a kick, thought I'd just do a quick search. Found several dogs on several roofs. So the one I chose is a fairly simple song and really has the quality. It sounds to me like a children's book. Like I just imagine sort of all the illustrations. You know, it's a series of animals. It may be for children. I can't quite tell. There's a line about wanting to kiss your lips. So I'm not... But then I don't know whether that's maybe about the dog. So I'm not sure. The line is something, I want to kiss your lips, but your mouth is full of germs. It's just such a wacky song. I couldn't resist it. It's just so incredibly odd. I also think it has a quality of like someone singing in English and like learning English to sing the song or something like that. Like it's like a song you could write if you didn't speak a lot of English. You can just be like, the dog is on the roof, the cat is on the chair. You know, it has a kind of a learning language quality, which I also enjoy. Is this the most sophisticated song I have ever recorded for this here blogcast? No, it is not. You'll have to go back an episode for that because Scott and I did Gershwin last week for last week's episode. So if you haven't heard that, that's a rare change of pace here in the songs for the struggling artist land. But this song is just as simple as can be. So I'm going to play that for you in just a moment. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, please tell someone about it. Like, review, subscribe. Give it 5 stars anywhere you have an opportunity to give stars. The more stars, the better. That helps a lot. And if you'd like to contribute to this podcast with money, that makes so much difference. It is patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. There's also Ko-fi. There's PayPal. You can do a paid subscription on Substack. All of those links are in the show notes. And I thank you for any part of that experience. And, you know, mostly, I thank all of you for listening. Having your ears on this is very meaningful. It's been 10 years now, and that's a lot of time. Not all of you have been here the whole time, and I welcome you, even if you're just joining today. Hello. Is there anything else I need to tell you before this song? Oh, it's by someone called Jumont. I'm guessing it's French. So it's spelled Giumont. If anybody knows anything about him, I would be very curious. My searches were not successful. So anyway, without further ado, I give to you The Dog is on the Roof. The dog is on the roof. The dog, he's howling at the moon. Don't look at me if you're searching for the truth. The dog is on the roof. The cat, he doesn't care. He's sleeping all the day in an old rocking chair. High as a cloud, floating in the air. The cat, he doesn't care. Look at your reflection. Tell me what you see. A dying dinosaur or dizzy bumblebee. The dog is on the roof. The dog, he's howling at the moon. The bird, he found a worm. I wanna kiss your lips, but your mouth is full of germs. Don't look at me if you're searching for the truth. The dog is on the roof. Look at your reflection. Tell me what you see. A dying The dog, he's howling at the moon. The cow, she's walking everywhere, stopping all the cars and nobody cares. Eating on the sidewalk, lying in the street. The cow, nobody cares. Still the dog is on the roof. The dog is on the roof.